Hello and thanks for joining us here on the Pension Confident podcast. This month, we're investigating how you can use your pension and other investments to make good things happen. We all like to do our bit to make a difference in the world. You might already be vegetarian or buying fair trade products. You might be volunteering or even cutting down on flying. But what if you could make your biggest impact simply by looking into where your money is invested? It's called impact investing, and that's what we're discussing today.
Globally, there's $56 trillion managed by pension funds around the world. That money has impact for good and for bad.
You can be investing in the companies of tomorrow that are currently worth $1 billion and in 30 years will be worth $1 trillion, right?
We've seen big banks making big announcements that they are divesting from directly investing in fossil fuels. So change is possible.
Here to help us understand what it is and how it can drive change, we have three expert guests. Campaign Director for campaign group Make My Money Matter, David Heyman. Hi, David.
Hiya.
Next, Annika Diva, who's Partnerships Director at Huddlecraft and heads up Money Movers. That's a non-profit initiative. They empower women to take climate action through moving their personal finances. Hi, Annika.
Hi, Philippa.
Back for another appearance on the podcast, PensionBee's Chief Engagement Officer, Clare Reilly. Good to see you again.
Hi, Philippa.
Now, as usual, please remember that anything discussed on this podcast should not be regarded as financial advice, and when investing, your capital is at risk.
Impact investing is investing with the aim of generating positive and measurable environmental and social outcomes, and whilst at the same time generating financial returns. So really it's about positive outcomes-based investing. It's looking at companies, looking at the impact that they have on the world around them, on people and on planet, and making a decision about whether or not you want to invest in those companies based on that information.
We'd consider actually all investments to be impact investments. All investments have an impact
For good or bad.
For good or for bad.
Yeah.
And there are very deliberate tip of the spear investments in organisations which try and create a positive natural impact on the world. And that's great. And that's the 1.2 trillion you're referring to. And we should do more of that. We should get more money going towards those businesses, those organisations who are going to tackle the problems we are facing, not those who are causing it. Absolutely. And there's a huge opportunity there. There's also an opportunity to look at the wider investments under management. Globally, there's $56 trillion managed by pension funds around the world. That money has impact for good and for bad. So we want people to think about all their investments as impact investments, minimising harm and increasing good. And if you can do that, if you can get people fundamentally thinking differently about their money, not as something static, inert, scary, but their biggest superpower to change the world, then you can really, really alter significant flows of capital and change the world. Yes, we've seen that this definitely does resonate a lot with younger audiences, but I think it actually is something which cuts across all demographics and all ages, because it's really about taking control over your money. I think a big problem that we've seen is, and it has various different impacts across the UK, but people outsourcing their money to pension providers or financial institutions or financial advisors and having very limited control, awareness, transparency over where that money goes. And that's not a good place to be. And so I think when you talk to people about the key messages we talk about, which is transparency, finding out where your money is actually invested, control, having more voice and choice over where that money goes, and impact, making sure that it's having a positive impact, building a better world for you and your families. These are principles which can resonate and relate to people of all demographics, of all ages, of all backgrounds as well. And so I think the natural place is younger audiences, but absolutely it doesn't stop there.
There's a myth around lower returns in impact investing. I think you can invest in the companies of today, the biggest companies of the world that are worth $1 trillion at the moment, these big US tech companies that are the most profitable companies in the world. Or you can be investing in the companies of tomorrow that are currently worth $1 billion and in 30 years will be worth $1 trillion, right? And they are the ones who are going to be leading the transition, leading the charge when it comes to reconfiguring the whole investment system, our whole planet, to make sure that we can continue to live here healthily and safely for many generations to come. And it's a different way of looking at investing. So a different type of return that you're going to get in 30 years by investing in companies that are taking care of planet and society than you are investing in companies that give you that quick short-term return whilst destroying the planet.
doesn't take many people asking questions within a company to a pension provider, for example, for them to start listening. So it takes about 5 employees to start asking questions about what the default pension is, for that company to start realising, hey, this is something our staff really care about. Maybe we should start thinking about this. And so that's where we think at Money Movers, the power of the movement, the power of coming together with other people to start asking questions, even if you don't know all the answers, is incredibly powerful. And we've seen companies changing their policies. We've seen companies changing their practices. We've seen big banks making big announcements that they are divesting from directly investing in fossil fuels. So change is possible.
When they understand that it matters and when they understand people are going to know what they're doing.
Exactly. When they understand that both their customers and their employees really care about this and together are going to be asking questions and taking action if the companies don't listen. I would love to see young people being taught about this in schools. So being taught about climate change as part of their curriculum, but also being taught about financial awareness as part of their curriculum.
We've talked about this so much on the podcast, absolutely.
And so doing both for a lot of young people, they're not interested in finances because they don't think it matters to them. But there is a real increase amongst young people in an interest in climate action. And so if they realise that they can have a secure future for themselves and for the planet at the same time, it's a win-win.